Hello everybody and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. Guys, I want to start today's video by just giving a quick apology to Everton fans because I did do a video on Saturday basically reporting on the Juma transfer, telling you about what he would do for the club. At the time of reporting that, it had been agreed with Villarreal. It also, the medical had happened, but as we've seen in the last few hours, at the very last minute, he has decided to go and join Tottenham. These kind of things happen once in 1,000 transfers. We don't try and report things early. Unfortunately, this one does look to have gone the other way at the last minute. So, guys, just want a quick apology to you guys for that. And let's kick on with talking about the next Everton manager, because that's the reason why you've clicked on the video itself. And of course, after Frank Lampard has left, it's time to look who would be the next manager of Everton Football Club. I'm going to do this video a little bit differently to how we usually do our next manager videos. We usually speak about 3 or 4 of the main candidates. I want to cover a few more today just because, as we know, things can change very quickly in football. And let's kick off by talking about Marcelo Bielsa because he is still currently the Bookies' favourite. Some reports today have already reported that Bielsa has turned down Everton. Some are saying that's a bit premature. It's just that he does have some concerns and some things that he wants to talk about before deciding whether he wants to take the job on. Now, I'm sure the Danjuma thing, and of course with Newcastle apparently wanting Gordon, that might not help the situation even more. He does have a little bit of reserve about taking the job, especially with the trouble that Everton currently find themselves in. If he does take the job, though, I think this would be an absolutely brilliant appointment. I really do. Everton needs someone that's really going to give the fans some pickup, but also be very good technical football manager. And of course, I think he's both of those things. Leeds fans really did see him as their messiah. Everything he did with them, he made a lot of players better. And he made some championship players essentially become Premier League players with Leeds United. And also, as we know, it was the rock and roll type football, the kind of football that Everton haven't been getting lately. And I do think if they could get Bielsa in, yes, you guys might concede a few more, but at the same time, you're going to score a lot more, which is obviously needed with Everton finding themselves just second in terms of least goals scored in the league this season. Only Wolves actually have scored less. Well, let's talk about another man that is finding themselves really in close contention to be in the favourite at the moment, and that is Sean Dyche. Now, this for me, I really would like this one. I don't get why Sean Dyche has been out of work for so long. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why he hasn't been made a really good offer and, more importantly, a Premier League offer. I think the job he did at Burnley is really underrated. To keep that squad up year after year after year, and the one time they did go down, he got them straight back up with very limited spending. I think he did an absolutely brilliant job for them year after year, and I don't think he really gets the credit he deserves for exactly what he did. Now, one thing that would be interesting with this, of course, he has played with and managed rather some of the Everton players before. Of course, Michael Keane, Tarkowski and McNeil, and Everton and Frank Lampard haven't really got the best out of McNeil so far. One man that did was this man, Sean Dyche. And really, if he, he'd almost maybe make McNeil like a new signing if he can get the best out of him again and actually, kind of get the player that you expected when you did sign him. I like this one. I think, he's done some fantastic things. Maybe it might not be the most attractive football, but if he keeps Everton up, that's the only thing that matters at the moment. And then maybe funds can be used, and if funds are available, to kind of get a squad in next year. And maybe, who knows, maybe with a bit of money put into the club, maybe he doesn't want to kind of play this boring type of football that he's been stereotyped with. I like it. But one that you guys might not like, but the board seem to, Sam Allardyce. Now, there's good reasons really why the board perhaps are looking at this one, because of course he has saved Everton from relegation before. And in fact, the one time he had to do that, Everton then went and finished 8th. I think because of that record, the board seem interested in him. Since then, though, he's had a bit of an unimpressive spell at West Brom, of course. And he was ultimately sacked by Everton as well, let's not forget, because due to his boring type of football. Is he going to be one that Everton fans are really going to get behind when they need to, the club really need to work on building and getting the club closer together, because there's a massive disconnect between the club and the fans? I don't really think this is the man to do it. I don't. And I don't think he saves Everton anymore. You know, he might have done it once before, but a lot has changed since then. He's been out of the job for a while, and ultimately he's just getting older as well. I don't like this one. I don't think the Everton fans will like this one either, but do let me know in the comments. I'm not going for it personally. Let's talk about another man that has been linked, and that is Wayne Rooney. Now, of course, with Derby, he did do great things. And much like Frank Lampard, he did great things with Derby as well. Of course, he did really get the fans and the club all operating as one. And despite multiple points deductions, yes, Derby did go down, but he came so painfully close of saving them from that relegation. And he did get all the players playing for them. That is something that is obviously going to be admirable and is something that Everton could need at the moment. The problem I have with it is his lack of experience, especially in the Premier League. Of course, he's only ever managed Derby at the moment. And, you know, I think to just go from that experience into what Everton need at the moment, I personally feel that Everton needs someone that's not just going to uplift the fans. They need someone that's really got some good experience as a manager, has a clear plan, has a clear way of doing things. And I still think Wayne Rooney's in the early stages of finding out exactly who he is as a manager. And I think a Premier League job is too little, too soon. And I do think it would be a similar route to the Frank Lampard acquisition, which obviously ultimately has led a year later in him getting sacked. So this one, not for me. Duncan Ferguson, and let's speak about him. But before I do, we are getting closer and closer to 4,000 subscribers. So if you are enjoying the video and haven't subscribed yet, please do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button for me. It would be massively appreciated. But let's talk about Duncan Ferguson, because of course, someone that is adored by the fans. And it does make you wonder maybe if he was still part of Frank Lampard's team this season. Could things have been slightly different? Of course, he did leave this season because he wanted to go into his own managerial role. Of course, he's not found a club yet, but he has turned down a couple of clubs in Scotland. So it's not like no one's wanted him in particular, but he's yet to find the right opportunity. Could that opportunity be Everton? Of course, he'd come in being absolutely loved by the fans. A question of experience again. I just wonder this time round. Of course, he's come in before and he's done fantastic to get Everton out of trouble and to uplift the fans and build that connect with the club. But this time round just feels slightly different. I think there just needs to be slightly more than just someone that can uplift everyone and get things looking good. You need an experienced manager. I love Big Duncan. Of course, Everton fans do too. Maybe he could come in an advisory role because he hasn't found a club to be a manager of yet, but I don't know if he would do that, even if it's on a temporary basis to help the club. But he's not the next Everton manager for me personally. Let's speak about a man that has got plenty of experience, and it might not be a manager that you look at and instantly know. The main reason for that is he has spent the majority of the time in his managerial career managing in the Spanish league. And if he does obviously become next Everton manager, I'll do a full video on him speaking about everything. But his name is Marcelino Garcia Terral. Try saying that after a few pints. I think I've struggled just after, no pints. I've just been on water all day. What can I tell you about this man, though, really quickly? This is a man that commands discipline. As well as doing that, he's well known for his high pressing football. He's known from leading from the front in terms of pressing, but he's mostly well known for his defensive responsibility, his defensive discipline, and he's all about discipline and respect as a manager as well. I think this is someone that would really shore up the defence. He did that with Athletic Club he was last at. He did fantastic things with them. He hasn't been in a job since this season. He was let go at the end of last season. I really like this appointment, I do, and there's a lot more to unpack with this manager. I think what he would do is would shore up the goals, and he would also play high pressing football to maybe bring a few more goals as well to Everton, which of course you guys need. Don't write this one off. He's quite low down in the odds at the moment, but we could see him creep up depending on what happens in the next couple of days. Another man that's in a similar price range, and it's been revealed that Everton are considering, is Nuno Espirito Santo. Now, of course, as a Wolves fan, I know plenty about Nuno. I loved him. I adored him. Towards the end, though, I also wanted him to go. And then, of course, we moved on to Tottenham, and the less we say about that, the better. He's currently actually managing in the Saudi League, so that also begs the question, would a compensation fee have to be paid? And for a club that hasn't really spent anything in so far in this January transfer window, you do obviously have to ask the question of, will that be something they're prepared to do, especially considering the fans themselves don't seem to want this one to happen too much from what I've been reading. One thing that he would do, of course, he's played with Connor Cody before, and he's been his captain, hasn't he, Connor Cody? So that would be a little reunite there. The other thing is he's really good at playing a back five. I think of Everton's fullbacks, and I'd say they're probably more better at attacking than they are defending. I think maybe how he plays would suit the players and the system that Everton can implement. So that would at least complement. But it depends which Nuno you're getting. If you're getting the start of the Wolves Nuno, he keeps you up. If you're getting the end of Wolves and Spurs Nuno, he's definitely sending you down. So it's a bit of a gamble, this one, in all honesty. And I know Everton fans don't warm to it too much. Last one I'm going to speak about is Ralph Hasenhüttl. Of course, at the moment, he's been let go by Southampton not too long ago. And of course, he spent quite a few years in the Premier League managing Southampton. Apart from that, I can't see any real other connection. I think this is maybe just a manager they're thinking that could happen due to his Premier League experience, but nothing is seriously being considered at this moment in time. Maybe one to watch depending on how things go. I imagine there's a few other candidates that Everton would want to consider first. But guys, that is the main 8 at the moment that have been linked with the Everton job. Do let me know in the comments who you guys want at the football club, as well as doing me a massive favour, hitting that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Get us to 4,500 subscribers. It would be massively appreciated. Let me know in the comments who you guys want as your Everton manager, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.